Welcome back to the most exciting math videos on YouTube featuring Mr. Johnston. This video is another special request about long division. Now, long division is very tough because it involves a lot of steps, so I'm going to do a few different problems in this video to hopefully help you guys figure out some of those steps and how I like to teach it. That usually works well for me. And after this video, if you have any questions, please feel free to contact me, and if it's not working, I can definitely show you a different strategy as well. So we're going to start with an easier long division problem. So we have 48 divided by 2. Okay, so the first thing I like to do is just kind of cover up my second number and just look at our first number. So we have 40, so we have 4, which is actually 40, and divide that by 2. Okay, so we're dividing by 2. I like to just make a list of 2's or whatever my divisors. I just like to make a list just so that I can refer to it easily. So let's just count by 2's quick. I'll do it over here. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. We'll stop right there. If we need to get some more, we can get some more later, all right? So we're just going to look. How many times does 2 go into 4? Well, let's count. 1, 2. So it goes in there 2 times. So now we have 4 divided by 2 equals 2. All right? So now, after dividing, you go back and you multiply. Okay? So you just multiply that back. You can put a little multiplication sign there if it helps you. 2 times 2 equals 4. And we can just do 4 minus 4 is 0. And now we have another number, so we bring that right down and get 8. Okay? So we divided, then we multiplied back, we subtracted, and then you bring down if you have any numbers left over here, which we had an 8 in this case. All right? So now we go back to the top of our list, which is dividing. You have 8, and our divisor stays the same. So how many times does 2 go into 8? 8 divided by 2. Well, let's use our list that we have right here to count it out. 1, 2, 3, 4 times. 8 goes into 8 divided by 2 is 4. Okay, so we got our first step down, and our next step would be multiplying. So we take the number we just wrote on the top and do 4 times 2 is 8. Next step would be subtraction. We subtract those. Do we have anything left over here to bring down? Nope, we've used both of our numbers. And the last step would be a remainder. This problem does not have a remainder. There's nothing left down here. So our answer to 48 divided by 2 would be 24. All right, now not all division problems going to work out where there's no remainder or they're as smooth as that one just was. So we're going to try another problem here. And we're dividing by 3. Our divisor is 3, so let's just go ahead and make our 3's quick. 3 times 1 is 3. 3 times 2 is 6. And if we're not knowing how to multiply, that's okay. All you got to do is add on. So 3, if you add 3 more, that would be 6. If you add 3 more, you would get 9. Oops. Sorry. And then if you add 3 more, you would get 12. If you get 3 more, you have 15. And then if you get 3 more, you'll have 18. All right? Now I'm just looking at this, and 18 is larger than 16. So that's already gone too far. We don't need to make any more than that if we're already over what our number is. So we're going to start by covering up our second number there. And we have 1 divided by 3. Okay? Now this is actually a 10, and 3 does go into 10. But for the purposes, I just like to say it's a 1. All right? So 1 divided by 3, does that work? No, it does not. So we're going to slide on over and open up both numbers to where we have 16. Okay? Now, how many times does 3 go into 16? So let's use our 3's. We have our list here. Let's use it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 15 is as close as we can go because 18 is too much, right? So we're going to count 15, which was 5. Now, when we do this, we did not do 1 divided by 3 is not 5. We didn't use 1. We used 16. So that 5 actually goes right above the 6. And then this spot here just stays open. So now we divide it and we have to multiply. Put a little multiplication sign there to help. So 5 times 3 is, if you can't remember, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is 15. And then we can subtract that, okay? So 6 minus 5 is 1. 1 minus 1 is 0. So now we get to the bring down step. Is there anything left here to bring down? Nope, we have used both of our numbers, so there's no more numbers to bring down. So we skip that step, and the R stands for remainder. Now, after we subtracted, were we left with anything? Yes, we do. We have that 1. So that we make a capital R and then a 1. Okay? So 16 divided by 3 is 5 with a remainder of 1. And if you want to quick check that, all you got to do is the reverse. 5 times 3 is 15, plus our 1 extra gives us 16. So remember to divide, multiply, subtract, bring down if we have to, and then use a remainder, or put your remainder at the top if you do have one. Once again, this list here is really helpful, so you don't have to keep thinking back and trying to multiply or add on your fingers. Making this list is just a quick reference that that kids can use to quickly count how many times 3 goes into something. I'm going to set up for a 3-digit divided by a 2-digit problem now. All right, I misspoke. I'm actually going to set up for a 3-digit divided by 1-digit here. We'll stop with 3-digit divided by 1-digit. We won't quite hit the 2-digit yet. If you guys, anyone's got this mastered, I'll gladly make a separate video talking about 3-digit divided by 2-digit. But for now, let's just leave this as it is. So let's make 5 4s or so. We'll just count out some 4s just to have a list, and if we need to add to it, we will. So 4 times 1 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. 4 times 3 is 12. 4 times 4 is 16, and 4 times 5 is 20. Remember, if you don't know how to multiply, if you don't know your multiplication facts very well yet, that's okay. You can do 4 plus 4 is 8, 8 plus 4 is 12, 12 plus 4 is 16. I know all of you guys can at least add by 4. Add 4 more, all right? So we're going to cover up, back to this problem, we're going to cover up our back. We're just going to have our first number, which is 5. We have to ask ourselves, does 4 go into 5? The answer is yes. If you have 5, you can get 4 out of it. Well, let's check our list here. How many times does 4 go into 5? 1, 2, oh, 8's too much, so we have to go back. We can only get 4 into 5 one time. So our 1 goes right above our 5. That's our first step. 5 divided by 4 is 1. And now we're going to turn around and do our next step, which is multiply. 1 times 4 is 4. After multiply, our next step is subtract. 5 minus 4 is 1. After we subtract, our next step is bringing down. So we're going to bring down our 7. So now we have 17. We still have a number left, and we haven't put anything above here, so we are not at the remainder. The remainder stage only happens when you have no more numbers to divide. So we're going to ask ourselves, how many times does 4 go into 17, or how many times can 17 be divided by 4? Go back to our list. It makes it very easy when we make this list first. 17 is we cannot go over 17. So 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. 20 is too much, so we'll back up. So 1, 2, 3, 4 holes, or 4 times 4 can go into 17 without going over. So that 4 now comes up right above our 7. So 17 divided by 4 is 4. Okay, for this purpose of this activity right now. Next step is multiplying. 4 times 4, 1, 4, 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Remember, is 16, just in case you forgot. And after multiply, we're going to subtract. Okay. Now, we have 7 minus 6, which gives us 1. And 1 minus 1 is 0. We don't need to put it there. You can if you want. It doesn't matter. 0 in the front's not going to do anything in this problem. Okay. Now, we're at the bring down step. Do we have another number to bring down? And the answer would be yes. This 4 can come all the way down, and now our 1 becomes a 14, all right? So we haven't divided this yet, and we need a number above here, so we don't have a remainder yet. And we go back to the top to division. 14 divided by 4. How many times does 4 go into 14? 14 divided by 4. Well, let's count it out. We cannot go over 14 now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 16 is too much. So we got to back up. 12 is as close as we can get. 1, 2, 3. So 4 goes into 14 3 times without going over. Now we divided, and we need to multiply now. So 3 times 4, 1, 2, 3 fours, is 12. After we multiply, we subtract. 4 minus 2 is 2. 1 minus 1, we can't do that. Now, next step is bring down. Do we have anything left to bring down? And we do not, because we have used all the numbers. So are we left with anything? That would be our remainder. The answer is yes. We have a remainder of 2. So we're going to put that up here on top. So 143 with a remainder of 2 is your answer. So 574 divided by 4 is 143 with a remainder of 2. We're going to do one more problem quick here, and then I'll let you guys go. All right, we got another problem here. We have 275 divided by 8. Now, I can't stress enough the importance of making that list, because it helps take the continued the struggle that can be multiplying or figuring out how many times a number goes into another number if we have a list just to use. So let's count out our 8s, okay? So 8 times 1 is 8. 8 times 2 is 16. 8 times 3 is 24. And 8 times 4 is 32. Once again, if you don't know how to multiply by 8s, you could get your 1s and your 2s. We know how to multiply 1s and 2s for sure. If you're having trouble with 3s or 4s or any of these, just count on 8. So 8 plus 8 more would be 8 or 16. 16 plus 8 more would be 24. If we're still working on multiplication facts, that's okay. It's just a good way to adding on from 8 to the previous number. We can all do that, I know. So let's cover up back to this problem. Let's cover up 7 and a 5. So we have 2 divided by 8. Now, can we get 8 out of 2? That is, no, we can definitely not do that. So we're going to slide over and get to 27. Now, can 8 go into 27? The answer to that is yes. How many times can we do it? Well, let's check our list. So we cannot go over 27. So 8, 16, 24, 32. 32 is going to be too much, so we're going to back up 1. So we have 1, 2, 3 times 8 goes into 27. Now remember, we didn't do 2 divided by 8. We did 27 divided by 8. So that 3 goes above the 7, and then the 2 is just left. There's nothing above the 2. Okay? So we divided, so now we have to multiply. 3 times 8 is 24, and if you can't remember what that is off the top of your head, 1, 2, 3 8 is 24. We multiplied, now we have to subtract. 7 minus 4 is 3, 2 minus 2 is 0. We don't need to put the 0, you can if you want. After subtracting, we bring down. Yep, we have a 5 that still needs to come down, and that gives us 35. Okay, so now we have to divide 35 divided by 8. Now, I'm looking down here and see 32. I'm thinking in my head and being an efficient mathematician like I know a lot of you guys are. You're thinking, there's no way that another 8 goes into 32 and it's still going to be under 35. But I just like to make sure. So let's add 8 more, or you can do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8 times 5. Everyone can count by 5s. 8 times 5 is 40. All right, so now we think, oh, is 40 too much? And the answer would be yes. 35 is less than 40, and we cannot go over 35. So let's count how many times we can put 8 into 35 without going over. 1, 2, 3, 4 times. So that's what our number is. So 35 divided by 8 is 4. Put it right above that 5 since that's what we used. We divided, now we multiply. 4 times 8 is 1, 2, 3, 4 times. Now we're going to subtract. 5 minus 2 is 3. 3 minus 3, don't have anything there. Now, do we have anything to bring down? No, we do not. We've used all of our numbers. And that leaves us with our remainder, which is 3. So 275 divided by 8 would be 34 with a remainder of 3. Now, long division is a very difficult thing to do. This is the standard kind of traditional way of doing it. This is called the standard algorithm of how we would do it. It's been taught this way for a very long time. A lot of new instruction kind of breaks this down to add a little bit more understanding with place value. This is the way I just like to teach it because it's pretty simple and straightforward, And once kids can get the steps down, it's they usually have success with it. As always, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. I will love to explain it more if it needs to be. Hopefully this was helpful and didn't confuse a bunch of people. I miss you guys, and I hope that this helps, and I will talk to you later.